Hello everyone, welcome to this video where we are going to dive into longest happy string. So in this problem we are supposed to find the longest happy string, and an happy string has been defined as a string containing only A, B, C characters, and the string does not contain any of three consecutive occurrences of B, C, or G as a substring, and then it should contain at most a occurrence of A, at most a occurrence of B, and at most C occurrence of C. So we receive as input something like this, and we're supposed to find the longest happy string. You can see that in this longest happy string we have only 6 C. That is why no matter what we are going to do, we cannot add that extra C, the last one, without breaking one of those conditions. That is why the longest happy string is actually a string with a value of 8, not 9. That means we left one character behind. Okay, so now that we know what we are supposed to do, how are we going to approach it? My approach will be as follows. When I will receive my strings, I will construct a vector where I will have my string. Like if I receive, I can have 5C, I will have a string with 5C and I'll put it in my vector. I will have something like this. And for each of the steps, I'm going to sort my array. It's actually cheap to sort my array because it's an array with 3 elements. So sorting will be actually really cheap. So it's constant time. So I'll sort my array. And after sorting my array, I'll either take the first one, like the character at in the first position, or the one in the second, depending of if they're taking the one in the first in the first element is actually breaking a condition. What does that mean? In this case, for instance, my initial result is actually empty, so I'm going to take this, which will give this, and after taking this, my array is going to be this 4C, 2B, and AA. After this, I can also allow myself to take this, so I have the result like this. But after this, despite that this one is actually the first position, even if I was having 10C here, I cannot take an extra C because taking a C is going to break the condition. It's going to make my result not meeting this condition. I should not have string like this. So if I take an extra C, it's going to make my solution invalid. So that's why I need to take a B. Right? So you do agree with me that whenever for each of the steps, I will have to sort and put the biggest one in front. And if the biggest one is actually breaking the condition, I need to take the second one and remove it and continue. Okay with you? So here what I will do the same. So here I can take now this one because adding this one here will not break any condition. And after this I will have something like this. And here I can take this one and put it here, and I'll have something like this one. But important here, you see what has happened here. So when we move from here, after this operation we are having CBBAA, right? So what has happened is that the C is now at the last position because it is the smallest, because at the beginning of each step you are sorting, and after sorting you are going to take either the first or the second one. So let us dive into the code and see what it will look like. So you first initialize everything. So you initialize everything to have this initial array, this initial vector, and now you dive into the while loop, infinite while loop, and for each of the condition, for each of the step you first sort. Actually cheap, so don't worry about this. So after sorting, if the first element has an empty size, that means there's actually no character left, that means everything has been used, so you break. That's the first condition to break. Now after this, you dive into, am I taking the first or the second? You put a condition. If the number of characters is actually greater than 2, and if the two character that I have, the two last character are actually equal to this guy, then I should not take this guy. How do I check that? If the result is actually equal greater than 2, and the string consisting of the two, in fact I'm building a string, so I'm building a string with this. So I'm going to take the first character, I'm going to have a string of 2 elements, so I'm going to have CC, and I'm going to take the substring of this guy, the last character, I'm going to compare those. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm creating like a substring. I'm creating a string here consisting of the character at the first position, and I'm checking if it's equal to the two last character. If it's equal to the two last character, that means adding this will make 3 consecutive elements. So I should not take the first one. Given that I should not take the first one, if the second one is empty, so I break because there's nothing I can do. If I cannot take the first one and the second one is empty, that means the third is also empty because my array is short. Otherwise, if I find myself here, that means this condition is not valid. So I can take the second one, so I can add it to my result, and I can decrement now this by just taking the substring from 1 to the end. Else, that means I can take the first one, so I will do exactly what I did here, but instead on the first character, and I will repeat this until one of these conditions is going to be respected. And at the end, I'm 100% sure it will give me the correct answer. So let us submit. Yeah, performing pretty well. Excellent performance. So do my approach of solving this. I hope you do enjoy it. Feel free to give me any input. I'll be really happy to interact with you regarding this. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and see you tomorrow for a new challenge.